Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to do like a 2-part video because I'm doing this on my phone and I don't have a computer, so um, bear with me. My phone was gonna die, so I had to turn off the video and plug in my phone. So where was I? Talking about Don Juan. So Don Juan talks about, says that our perception of energy is conditioned by this physical reality. Just like it blows my mind. It's so deep. So I'm like, when I got that book, I like before I even opened it, I was holding it and like I literally saw with my naked eye like glimmers of light around everything, like on corners of things and like physical objects. So in holding the book, it literally started to shift my perception of energy. Um, so so obviously that the point is that as you integrate higher consciousness, higher dimensional consciousness, your perception of reality is going to change, obviously. Your perception of energy is going to change. So I'm like, okay, there's just all of this information out there, and I'm just like, I'm such an indigo. I'm obsessed with the truth. Like, I'm obsessed with knowledge. I crave esoteric knowledge, just like it's. So I'm constantly like taking in information. I'm constantly studying and seeking out information. But then at the same time, as an intuitive, as like a sensitive person, sometimes I get disheartened by it because I, I just want to find things that like will activate me, like I want to find things that will like unlock things within me and unlock memories and gifts and abilities, really like ultimately like I think that's why I'm obsessed with it because I like really like have a lot of fun with this ascension like experience, and I really really want to you know reach my fullest potential. I mean, that's the Starseed mission, right? Like to reach your potential and to embody your divinity before the body dies, like while you're here. So so I leveled up like it took me like a whole week. I mean, I'm still like integrating it. Like, it usually takes me like that to like integrate. Like it, this was an entirely like I literally stepped into a different timeline, different dimension, different reality. So today I'm like, I just keep asking every day, like, I feel like there's this, I'm not resonating with this law of mirroring anymore. I'm not resonating with this law of oneness anymore. Like, there's got to be more to it than that. Like, it doesn't quite sit in my body very well, and that's how you know you resonate with someone is that it feels right, if it feels good. And I'd feel like you know, and I don't like, I'm not in a level of consciousness or awareness where I like have suppressed resistance anymore, or like negativity, or I mean, there's probably some, layers of, I mean, honestly, like, there's some layers of trauma that I still carry that I'm constantly actively working through, though, and I don't need, so the point is, I don't need a mirror to show me what I need to heal and integrate. Because it's always right. I'm always tuning in. I'm always looking within. So I've started to, instead of seeking that outside of myself, I started looking within, like as a lot of people say and talk about in the spiritual community is you always go within, like when you're triggered or whatever. So I always do that, I don't but I stopped looking at people necessarily as like a reflection of me. like I started just looking within. So that stopped serving me, right? Okay. So like when things resonate with you, it means that you're a vibrational match to it, and that means it serves you in some way, right? So like this isn't resonating with me, you know? And not to go into like a whole lot of detail about, you know, the origin of my soul and my higher self or whatever, you know, because that might be too out there for some people, and also like is it's really long, you know, but I know who I am, I know what I am. And I know that we all I wouldn't say all of us, because not everyone is the same on here. Not everyone has the same purpose and journey. You know, some people are going to spend the rest of their lives unconscious. You know, and that's how they chose that. Like they chose to be unconscious and to serve that energy. So, you know, and that's okay. Like that's just their conscious decision before they incarnated. Like that's how they chose to serve. So, just using that as an example. So I know that there is a huge collective energy, consciousness, and even saying collective is still doesn't like, okay, like there's a collective, yes, but we also aren't a hive mind either. Like we're obviously having our own individual experiences. And so I am kind of getting all over the place here with this. So, the point is that, you know, as I've moved into this really, really like higher dimension of consciousness, and I say really, really, because it just like really like rocked my world, you know, like I was like, whoa. Time, my whole perception of time is just completely shifted, you know. So therefore my perception of this reality has completely shifted. So I see from a higher consciousness the necessity of these constructs holding this physical plane together. It's like a program of this physical reality, like gravity and time and the law of mirroring, and the law of oneness. So the law of mirroring has been put into place. I've been getting this information as like downloads and like channeling. So the law of mirroring has been put into place so that we can sharpen our discernment, and then also for integration. So, you know, it's really actually like a really brilliant like way to get us to like, hey, this is right in front of you. Like you need to look at this, like, and you're gonna keep looking at it until the light bulb goes off, you know. So it's just like dangling a carrot in front of your face until you get it, until you like, oh, I get how I need to get this carrot, and then you eat it. It's like integration, you know? That's a weird metaphor for integration, like eating the carrot, but it works, you know? So like, what I'm here to say is that is only gonna serve you when you're holding a certain level of consciousness. I strongly believe that like the reason why it doesn't resonate with me anymore, and I feel like I know that I'm not the only one, obviously, because it's too much of there's like so many patterns. Like I know that I'm not the only one that probably feels this way. Like there's got to be more than just me. So like once you like start holding a certain level of consciousness, the constructs of this reality, like even like certain like planetary alignments, like last year I stepped into my power and I was like in a bliss state, like morning all day long for like every day for like 4 months, like nonstop. I didn't have like a bad day at all, and I was having instant manifestation, you know, and I have that now, but like it's I also learned last year to embrace the human experience. So with that, you're gonna have other emotions. You're not gonna always have a good day, and that's all right. But like keep getting off on tangents. There's just so much information that's coming through me right now, so it's like a little hard to focus. Sorry, guys. But so yeah. So once you get to a certain level of consciousness, you know, when you're like embodying your sovereignty, you know, you're integrated, you're in wholeness. You know, what is the need for these constructs? Okay, yeah, this is what I was trying to say. So last year when I stepped into my power, I stopped being like governed by the celestial bodies. Like I stepped into my power right around a Mercury retrograde, and like I know how the energies were last year. It was insane. You know, and there's all kinds of people like having a really hard time around that time, and I stopped being I stopped being ruled by the celestial bodies. So like when I'm in a certain vibration, in a certain consciousness, and I know that I'm not the only one, you know, when you're on a certain level of consciousness, the constructs of this reality do not affect you the same. They do not affect you the same, if at all, you know. I think depending on maybe your perception and how much consciousness you hold on a daily basis, how in tune and sensitive you are, I guess. I feel like you can't be like not sensitive on certain levels of and also be ascending, or like, I mean, in higher dimensions, because it just opens you up and it activates you, and you're like, whoa, you're like aware, you know, you're on a certain level of awareness and consciousness, you know, awareness and consciousness when you're in certain dimensions, you know. It's just a whole, like, your lens like goes like 180 and just like, you know, multi-dimensional. Like your perception is just like multi-dimensional. So okay, the point of this video is to talk about, you know, I just haven't seen a lot of people talk about this. Like, I'm like, I know I'm not going crazy, but I'm super curious about other people's experiences, and their perception, and I'm just fascinated because I feel like it's the source coming through me, like being super curious, like a child, like, oh my gosh, like, what are you experiencing? This is really cool. Like, I want to know what you're experiencing. Like, why did you paint that picture, that color and those shapes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's just spirit, like, our source wanting to know itself through the other beings' creations, you know? Or creations being perception and awareness of what they're creating, you know? Oh man, that could go off an entirely different video too, because, you know, I have been watching some teachers, and or channels, I guess is a better way to put it, because they probably would be like, oh, it's not my information, it's divine, you know. So like they're channels, like for collective, for consciousness, so like higher consciousness. So like he talks a lot about when you're like, the energy feels really good today, and then you go out and talk to a bunch of people about it, and I'm not really sure what exactly, like, why he's saying that it's wrong, or I know he's not saying it's wrong, but like it's somehow not higher dimensional or whatever. But honestly, like, this entire experience and construct is created by higher dimensional beings. So from that perspective, like, it is higher dimensional, you know. I mean, there's all kinds of people on the planet like ascending, and it is, and we're also like human beings, and we're pack animals. So like, of course we want to feel, I mean, I guess he's talking about it from the intention of needing validation. Yes, that makes sense. Like, you don't need validation, but at the same time, You know, like I'm over here having this experience, and I'm just so fascinated and curious about other people's experiences. Just because, like, I see my brothers and sisters who I know are divine, beautiful, divine, creative beings, and like are making something, a masterpiece, you know. And so I'm like, I want to know, like, I can only perceive so much of what you're experiencing, but like I want to share this with you. Like I love you. I want to share this with you. This is really fucking cool, like this experience, you know. So anyway, I guess I could make it. I probably should make another video about that, because you know, it's just when I don't resonate with something, it branches off onto a whole different thought process of like, okay, why don't I resonate with this, and how can I bring another perspective through my own, like, through my own resonance, you know. So like, because I just constantly feel the need for like YouTubers to like or like other teachers to like elaborate on things, and I can't always just sit there and have like a conversation with all of them every single time I watch a video or read a book or something, you know. So like I'm like, okay, cool, like this gives me the opportunity to expand my consciousness and like get a different perspective and bring another perspective, just because you know, I'm so detail oriented, like almost, you know, like really, really detail oriented. Such a fucking indigo. It's awesome. Like it's awesome. It's also like whoa at the same time. So anyway, I rambled a lot on both of these videos, but obviously it all like has a place and purpose in my message. And that being is that if you feel like you don't resonate with a lot of things that the spiritual community is talking about, and you know that you have leveled up like real hard, there's a reason. And I know that I was given this information, you know. I'm like asking like, what, like, why am I not resonating with this? Like everyone, that's what everyone says, blah, blah, blah. And this really is like an indigo thing, like breaking systems here. Okay. Like, you know, those constructs serve a certain purpose for certain experiences of like integration, like love, mirroring, love, oneness, like for integration and for sharpening your discernment, but then also law of oneness. I mean, you see how the world is really like chaotic right now, and there's so much separation, and so like the consciousness and the energy of law of oneness definitely serves the collective like a lot, because we really do need to like massively integrate, you know. Like we really need to like break down all of our like illusions and come together, and to bring peace and harmony into the world, into the planet, into the human experience. So you know, that's a huge fundamental part of why the star seeds and the higher dimensional beings, ascended masters, and all that like integrate or like incarnated into this planet. So yeah, that serves that purpose. But then it's like, okay, so I'm like over here kind of not resonating with that, like doing that work anymore, you know. So like I'm doing this higher work of bringing this really high energy, you know, like wait, I don't know. See, that's where I have like I'm still like processing information, but I just wanted to kind of put it out there, like, hey, this is why these constructs exist. And you may not be resonating or experiencing this anymore because you got into a higher consciousness, and you're not crazy, and you're not the only one, you know. And it's really cool. And so like, if you watch this and you can follow my rantings, because I know I'm like, you know, all over the place a little bit, but, and you want to talk to me about it, like, I just am super fascinated and curious about other people's perspectives and experiences. So like message me or something on like Instagram. It's Danny Black Oracle, and or on here too. So yeah, I want to know what you experience and how you feel about this. And even if you don't agree with it, like that's okay too. That just means that you're not, in resonance with it, or having that perspective and that awareness, because everything that is a vibrate, like that's the law of attraction, is like everything you're a vibrational match to, you will perceive. It will come to you in your experience, and you will perceive it. And it kind of doesn't really exist outside of that, like for you as a sovereign being. So like, if you don't resonate with what I say, it's okay. It doesn't mean it's wrong or right or good or bad, or you're wrong or right or good or bad. It's just not what you're experiencing and what you're perceiving. So if that makes sense, I know that's like really out there and kind of deep too. Like, whatever. If like anybody who's gonna understand me is going to be like higher dimensional like consciousness. So anyway, so I hope you guys are making it out there, and yeah, blessings.